Welcome to Capture the World with Dee. Interviews with companies and individuals to learn more about digitally capturing the built world. Video, drone, 3D tours, pictures, panoramas, and more. And now your host, a social influencer and community activist, Dee Johnson.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Capture the World with Dee. I'm your host, Dee Johnson. My guest today is the co-founder of StructionSite, a user-friendly platform for automated job site capture. For those of you who are looking to branch out into something new or more interested in capturing construction sites, this podcast is for you. So without further ado, please help me welcome Philip Lorenzo. Hey, Philip, thanks for joining me. How are you doing today?
Great, Dee. Thank you. I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for joining. We have a lot of people who are really interested in what your product has to offer. So why don't we get started by having you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came about founding StructionSite.
Yeah, so my background is in construction, actually. I used to be on the other side where I was working as a construction engineer, helping to build hospitals around the Bay Area for a large general contractor. Yeah, actually, my first project was Kaiser Permanente out in Oakland. It was kind of one of their big headquarter offices, and I stumbled upon I started getting into technologies. I had to implement technologies, and I had an idea for how much better construction can be if you can visit sites remotely. I get everyone on the same page because construction is such an analog world. It's one of the least digitized industries. I think that the least digitized ones is hunting. So construction is far behind relative to things like there's other technologies like software or manufacturing. So construction definitely needs it, and the construction is going through a big transformation. So I come from construction. I got into I started to get into software entrepreneurship, and one company I co-founded was it took 3D laser scans, which is kind of like there's a thing called 3D scanners that are really high end to capture 3D versions of a building, similar to like a Matterport type of thing. And then I created a software add-ons that would enhance it and create deliverables that would analyze the building. It was totally meant for construction. But those cameras are really big, bulky, and expensive. So it's kind of hard to scale that. And then when these started coming along and, purchasable from Best Buy, the first ones are really like, the Rico Thetas.
Yep.
That's kind of when I had an idea for another company that just create a seamless experience with mobile. And then we kind of took off from there. So it was just me and a co-founder. We got two other co-founders. This was back in 2017. Now we took on a couple rounds of funding. We have about 47 people now. We're used on about 13. We've been used on 13,000 projects across the world.
Wow.
So we've grown quite a bit.
Wow, that's pretty fast growth. Cool. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about StructionSite. What is it? Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, so StructionSite is a so what we do is we work with these type of 360 cameras that I mentioned here, and so just some more context. So we allow for two main things. Number one is we allow for really fast capture, primarily using video from these 360 cameras. So we'll actually go and map it, and I can give a quick demo on what that looks like. And then we've been more recently automatically analyzing what's happening in those videos, in those video frames, and knowing what's installed, which is something that's very important in construction. And I want to emphasize that a big unique thing about construction as opposed to say capturing houses or doing kind of virtual tours for like real estate. Is in construction, you have to the job site constantly changes rather than just going capturing it once, just being one and done. You have to come back like every every month, every week, sometimes every day, because things change very drastically, and there's a lot of money when things get installed. There's a lot of money, so we'll track that as well.
Yeah, that's very true. So the house that I'm living in right now is one I built. And we videoed our house as it was being built so we could have record of like where all the wires were, where all the plumbing was. So we had a video of the house before all the drywall was put up. So yeah, so definitely there's a need for documentation in construction, and you're right. It's not once, it's multiple times. So that's good for somebody who's looking to get into this business. It's a repeat business, right? If you land a good contract and a good company, it could bring you in potentially a lot of revenue.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, you would be helpful to kind of jump in, maybe just kind of showcase what some of the workflows would look like. Okay. So I'll go and share my screen just to see, just to kind of showcase some of the workflows, and I'll also be giving some context for those of you who are like those in the audience that are new to construction as well. So in essence, we are a mobile app and a web app. It's kind of the main thing. So actually what I have on my right side, actually I put it right here in the middle. This is actually my phone live. And so what you do is, if you can see the webcam, so a camera that we're currently, we recommend for fast video capture is a thing called the Insta1X or the 1R. It's kind of one of them. And we also are recently supporting the Theta Z1 as well. But if you just want to take photos, we support that as well. We use like the Ricoh Thetas in most 360 cameras. And what you do is you upload a construction drawing to our web app. And once you do that, you go out to the construction project, and then you can connect wirelessly to the camera. You go ahead and move this around, and you stop and you take a photo at every spot. Alternatively, you just go and you just pick where you started. You can go into this walk mode and just put where you are on the job site. And then when you hit capture, you just walk around. You can walk in and out of rooms, or just walk around the entire job site. The video starts to get captured at 2 frames per second. So it captures a really, really thorough version of the job site. And then when you're done capturing, you hit done. You tell it where you stopped. And then once you upload it to our cloud, we go and process it, and we convert it into a virtual tour type fashion. So what that would look like is something like this. So let's say you come in near the beginning of a project. Let's say they're pouring some concrete, or they're about to pour some concrete. So this is going to be very earlier on. So this right here is someone walking around, and I can go and just walk around, and wherever I walked, I have a full 360-degree view of that space.
So is this somebody who's been walking around taking pictures at various locations?
Yeah, so this is someone just walking around, with our video walk feature.
Oh, okay.
And they come back like every couple weeks, just to capture various milestones. So you can see I'm right here, and this is right before, this is where some of the rebar is installed before the, right here is post-pour concrete in the same area. And you can see the progression over time of the same area. Now that we have like an enclosure, we have some studs being installed.
Now you have rooms.
We have actual rooms now. And then I can go and actually, obviously things drastically change, as you progress.
Cool. Side by side now, that's cool.
You can do like a side by side type of thing. But mainly what people do is this is kind of what I was saying at the beginning, is people go back and you capture the same spot time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
And so this little path right here is where someone walked during a given video walk.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes also like milestone photos are captured, which are higher resolution HDR versions, where you actually stop and you're still, because you're gonna get a less blurriness. You can get a much higher
Yeah.
clarity on still photos. Um, and so like that's a good compliment. You'll have the the photos where you kind of stop and then take a really high resolution for milestones. It takes longer, but they're higher quality. And then you have your daily or weekly video walks, which is just really fast. You can capture like a whole project in a few minutes, or really large projects, maybe like 15 minutes per floor. Just it's really fast.
Now, when you take this video, does it figure out the path that you've taken? So it's smart enough to know that?
Yes.
Wow.
So it'll use various algorithms. That's a derivative of artificial intelligence. It uses something called SLAM, which what it does is it locates itself relative to where you're moving in the frames. So it's kind of like how driverless cars technology kind of works. So it doesn't even need any GPS at all. When you enclose a building, especially you have like a larger building, you're not going to get a lot of cell service. So you don't have direct line of sight to satellites, but it works perfectly well. It follows you inside and out of the rooms.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how long can a video be? Is there a limit?
At the moment, it's 20 minutes per video, which is something that we're extending over time. Eventually, there's not going to be a limit, but we found that to be sufficient for 95% of all walks. If you get to the 20 minute limit, you just stop and you just start it again. That's really it.
Okay.
Just to give the algorithm a little bit more of a push towards like, hey, where am I again?
Yeah.
And one thing to take a look at is, I think one thing is to be able to revisit where you went. So I think this is just one big value add to customers is because you've captured progress over time, to be able to do X-ray and see through walls, ceilings, see through the concrete. We have something called X-ray mode that like once you capture this stuff, you can make it available to a project team. So this is one thing that a project team would pay for is rather than having to go and like break through drywall, drill through the concrete. Hey, you've already taken the picture. I can go in and like, so this is actually my wall right here. You can see, and I can go ahead and
ooh, like James Bond.
there you go.
Oh, that's so cool, and it lays it right on top. Whoa,
Exactly.
That is way cool.
Yeah. So as long as you've taken the photos, that's you can look back in time.
Yep.
Right, against the real world. Another thing you can do is you can go forward in time. So you might ask, like, what does that mean? So you can also compare against models. So in construction, a model is typically made especially for bigger projects before it's built. So we actually have a plugin directly to the customer's model as well.
Wow.
That we have available. So there's that's another reason, another thing that like once you capture your customer's project, your customer can do a lot of things with it. It becomes really valuable. It's like you can keep digging and refining that. It's like you have some raw oil that you're digging out for the customer, which is their photos and videos. You can go and mine it. You can turn it into rocket fuel. They can turn it into gas for their cars. Like there's just a lot of other deliverables that this gives. And another thing that this does is, so what you can do here is once you've captured these videos, a customer can go in and like collaborate, can add notes. They can say, hey, there's, check this condition. And they can even like chat with each other on around the photos and videos that you've captured for your customer. So that's, that's another unique thing. that we offer specifically in construction because everyone needs to collaborate.
That's like
And
blue tape.
uh,
That's like when
oh
they
yeah,
tell customers if there's a problem, put a piece of blue tape on the wall. So that would be like that. Yeah, that's pretty
yeah,
cool.
and
I've walked into homes that were being built where you walk in and the walls are just covered in blue tape. I was like, no, 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 no,
oh,
no. It's not what it was meant for, but okay. I digress. Sorry.
like digital blue tape. Yeah,
Is there a limit on the number of these labels you can put on?
no, it's no limit. And I think that what's important to note is in construction. Um, so I was saying construction is they're kind of slower to adopt technologies. So when they pick
Yeah.
technologies, um, they they use maybe a few technologies, and then when they pick it, they really want to standardize on it.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to collaborating and like documenting like issues or creating notes, they already have softwares that they use
Mm-hmm.
company wide typically, or they have been using. So luckily we integrate with those with the majority of those software. Autodesk BIM 360 or Procore, or like if you talk to anyone in construction,
Yeah.
they'll know those softwares, PlanGrid. Um, so we have workflows that work well with back and forth exchanging data with those systems.
Yeah. And done your homework and made this piece of software not standalone so that it understands the entire industry. I'm sorry, what everybody's needs are. That's pretty cool. I like the X-ray
Yeah, that's
feature. I like that. It's kind of number one James Bondy, but who's actually tried to drill through a wall to hang a picture or something and hit like like a sewer pipe or a water pipe? I have. So this would have been really nice to tell me exactly where all the pipes are, where all the wires are. And like I said, in my house, we have a video of that. But what's nice about this is with the video, if I didn't capture it in the video, there's nothing I can go back and do. But when you have a 360 image, you can rotate and look anywhere. So this is super useful. And this is even good even if you wanted to document residential construction, right?
yeah. Yeah, we've been used on all sorts of projects, and we're pretty flexible with what you can use to capture stuff. So even if you don't have one of these video cameras or even one of the just photo only 360 cameras, you can just take photos with just your phone or iPad, and then just give it a direction and orientation, and just go and quickly snap a ton of photos around the job site, and you have that context on the construction project. So it's just a really fast way to like bulk capture. So the focus is not so much on like it's just a really fast and thorough way to capture stuff in construction.
So now when you take pictures, do you have to tell it where the pictures were taken?
Yeah, for if you're just taking normal standard video, standard photos from your mobile device without a 360 camera, yeah, you tell it where you are on a drawing, and then you can take a photo. We do have we do have GPS tracking on this. So if you take a photo, it gets geotagged, and you can actually align a construction project drawing to Google Maps, and it'll actually follow you around, which is more helpful on the exterior side.
Yeah.
Or it's roughly getting you to like what side of the building, and then you can like refine a little bit from there.
Interesting. So how do you upload the blueprint to your piece of software?
So the way that you would do that is you would go to our web application, and just add a drawing from there. Most people will actually add a drawing from the customer's project management system. So a customer will typically already have some place where they store and like manage their construction drawings. This is just pretty universal. You got to have construction drawings to do any construction project. But they're going to exist typically, unless it's maybe pre-construction. So you add it here, and then once it's added to our cloud application, then you can capture with mobile.
Cool.
Um, so um, another thing to take into account is that we will we have we're kind of really built to be used constantly. So when you're out and capturing the field, if you're doing video walks, we'll auto progress um, your walks. If we detect that, like for video walks, for example, I was saying that we automatically map where you walked
Mm-hmm.
onto a drawing. Um, we if you walked it again and you walk around the same area, we'll actually know that like what we can allow you to do that progress comparison. And
Mm-hmm.
like we'll detect based on the location
Mm-hmm.
um, that like hey you're roughly in the same room, right, same area. Then there's multiple times that you walk this specific spot, which is it's all automatic.
Cool. That's very cool. So, for
Yeah.
photographers who are doing real estate now, if there's a lot of development in your neighborhood, this is something that you can offer to those construction companies that probably are likely not doing this, because this, like you said, is not just a capture and done. It's constant. You have to keep going back, so that's more potential for revenue, but it's a great thing for the builder to have after the fact. So there's a lot of value in this capture process. And once it's constructed, it's too late. You can't go back. So, yeah.
Yeah. We have um, we encourage and anyone who wants to work with us to use this to provide value to your customers. So if it's like someone that's in real estate that wants to get into construction, photography,
Mm-hmm.
videography,
Mm-hmm.
we actually partner with them and we encourage that. So like I was saying at the beginning, we're used already on a lot of projects. We're kind of a pretty established name in construction. Um, but a lot of people in construction they're just too busy to capture.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a big labor shortage, and there's not a lot of people going in construction. But then there's a lot of people need to build stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Just with COVID, especially too, everyone's trying to move to houses and like kind of away from the cities. And I mean, there's just a lot of and there's a lot of other construction going on in healthcare and the digital like technology companies, manufacturing, shipping companies. So there's that. So we actually we partner with people, especially if they want to start this type of venture. What we request is that you just you buy the equipment, and there's a very minimal buy-in from that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can help sell you to your own customers because we offer like all these other workflows. So what we'll do is like we'll help train you. We'll give you all the information to like make you look great to your client. So you won't have to be alone on that.
And if somebody is interested, how would they get a hold of you?
So you can go on our website, and then we have a live chat, and you can just like hit us up on that. Just say, hey, Philip said you guys offer partnerships. We have a dedicated business development team that would be in contact with you and help you deploy this for your customers. So the way it works is, let me just.
So the website is structionsite.com, structionsite.com, just like it sounds.
So it's kind of like construction site. It's like the construction site without the con.
Yeah.
Because we actually give like transparency to the job site. Like it's what it is. Like it allows people in construction to like really get that trust of what happened.
I think it's very true though that there are a lot of construction companies out there that aren't documenting progress as the construction is going on. I mean, they've got tons of people on site doing different things and nobody's doing the documentation. So this is definitely a field that if you're looking to break into something new is just now starting. So this is a good time to break into this field. Also, if you're in insurance and you want to document, because insurance is the same, it's like a remodel, right? You come in, you document the site when it's got whatever issues happen, burns, whatever, floods. And then as you reconstruct and you rebuild and you repair, you document that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. We will also like provide guides. So, when you want to try to offer this to your clients, we have certain guides that would help you, like both sell this as a service. So we can even like share slides that you can like share to your
Oh, that's
customers.
nice. Okay.
I think one big thing is that with COVID, the demand for this type of product in construction has actually dramatically increased.
Yeah.
Because you want to reduce the amount of people out there in the job sites,
Yeah.
and we allow people to visit the site remotely.
Yeah.
Right. So that's one big sell. And there's also different guides that we could provide in terms of like how to correctly capture and share the images. So we're part of a organization that let me just kind of pull up another site here that will tell you how to best capture during the construction process, and like what scopes of work are typically need to be detected. So that's something that we've helped. Like we've actually like I've been help write with a national organization that does that kind of stuff. So in a nutshell, like there's certain ways you need to capture stuff with certain clarity, and that data needs to just not be stuck in the software. So like one great thing about our app is that when you offer this to your customers, the construction people want that data. They all want it in a way that doesn't require them to have to pay an app forever. So we offer an export to a PDF format with everything linked, and it doesn't require any software.
Nice.
That's another it's a huge, just like it's like an offline deliverable that we offer.
So you're not tying their hands.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody should know this. I believe, Philip, you told me that you were a contributor definitely to that organization. And so you're very knowledgeable in that area. So this is a good company to partner with because you've got people who actually have a vast amount of knowledge.
Yeah, and we've and the people that we partner with, like those I'd say it's common that they came from maybe capturing stuff from real estate, or they're just general photography. There's a lot of demand, I'd say, in capturing construction projects, and we we have this partnership where you offer this as a service. We give you some, all you need is some minimal buy-in on your end, especially on the equipment. But you can see this as a very profitable, high revenue source for your company if you offer like capture services. I'd say it also goes really well hand in hand with the drone services. So like you have the interior and then you have the exterior.
Yeah.
And you can also capture exterior with us as well.
Yeah, drone is getting big too. That's another area that if you're looking to expand, definitely look into drone.
Yeah, and what we found is that customers love this. Like they'll use this to visit their sites all the time. And as customers get introduced to our product, they might want to add on certain things like the automatic analysis of what's happening using AI. That's kind of a hot market right now, and that's another reason for you to go there every week, so that you can also document the percent complete on what specific stage of a construction project, which is something that we very uniquely do in a really accurate way that there's a high demand for. So just all you got to do is go out there and capture, and you can charge a customer for like your full service, and then our software would be like kind of a separate cost for the customer if they want to have those other benefits. So
let's talk about pricing, because I went to your website and I didn't see prices.
Yeah, so our pricing, so it's a bit of a unique situation where we charge relatively little to the service provider, because we provide a business partnership, and we'll help train and help you be successful. And then we charge, what you do is we also charge a amount based on a construction project value. So when this is implemented on a project, then it's a certain tiny percent of the project value, because the bigger the project, typically you capture more. There's a lot more processing that has to happen. There's more services that they'd want, and that's done on a yearly basis. So that's typically how it's put together. And then so you just include that cost into the package that you offer to your customer.
So that's something that's sort of more custom, that you would have to work out with you, and depending on the project. Okay, that makes sense. Actually, that's a smart way to do it, because if you're doing a really large building versus just a little one, it's So what about like retail stores that are like refitting? Like I just bought this retail location. It used to be a Starbucks, but now it's going to be a retail store. So now I have to completely remodel the interior to suit this new purpose. So is it something that you could use for that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been used a lot for, like before construction starts, you want to remodel something. You want to capture the space, even if maybe if there's some ceiling tiles, you want to pop it, you can throw in your camera with the light, what the MEP looks like, if that needs to be redesigned. And then this is given to the design team. Typically they'll go in and they'll be like, okay, I'm going to move this pipe, this over here. We're going to keep it intact. We've had a lot of customers that use it for that, definitely.
I've had customers ask me, I'm remodeling a retail space, but I need to know where all the outlets are.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that 360 capture is just a really great way of making sure that you don't miss anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because it's easy to, I didn't take a picture. It's not close enough. I'm just out of the frame. Like you get everything.
Yeah, exactly. 360 pictures are great.
Yeah. And like I say, for this specific purpose, it's just really fast. So you can have much more thorough capture than you would with really any other workflow.
Cool. Yeah, and if you get into construction, you can have a pink hard hat like me.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if people know this, but I have a background in construction, so this is a little close to home for me.
Awesome. You should do more of these construction-focused ones. That's
there's definitely more interest right now. So yeah, because
the construction industry needs it. They need people to kind of go out there and enable remote work. I mean, there's a lot of people that just kind of will focus on construction and getting the stuff built and solving the problems. And there needs to be people that are really good with imagery and having that flexibility.
Absolutely. And it's good for like the maintenance crew after the building is complete.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's so many uses for this, and this has to happen while it's being built. So there's definite demand for this.
Yeah, actually, we found that like the construction people, like when it's captured in construction, we've found that like owners will also budget and pay for this type of thing, because after the ceiling say is closed up, like where are the valves, shut off valves located? If I want to remodel if I want to hang a big TV, a big piece of equipment on the wall, where's the back? Like which stud bay is it at? So having the photos to reference is huge. Been huge for that.
Yeah, cool. This is a great product. So if you want more information, go to the website StructionSite.com. You can chat with them live. Again, it's StructionSite.com. It's ConstructionSite.com without the con. It's a great product. Check it out. Talk to them. People like Phil, who's the founder, has a vast amount of knowledge and can really help you get started and add more business for what you offer. So yay! All right, so I have one more question for you. Absolutely. What would you say is your secret sauce? What makes you different from everybody else?
I'd say that it's our secret sauce is the biggest one is our actual experience in construction. That really drives everything that we build. So we're construction first, and then AI is like the tool that we use to solve all these problems, and like how we deliver it. But first and foremost is construction, and that has been our differentiator, and people in construction see and value that as well. It's reflected throughout our whole app and company.
I agree. I think you're building a piece of software in an industry that you have experience in, and you know all the sort of the pain points, which is super important, because I know a lot of people who go, oh, I'm just going to write an app to do this. They have no experience in that. And you can sit there and create whatever you want, but if it's not something that's useful to your customer, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how brilliant you are, right? So definitely your experience and the fact that you've contributed to some national groups and stuff, that's like I've said before, is just really important. So yay.
Yeah, and the fact that like non-technical people are one of our biggest primary users is huge. I mean, that's part of coming from that construction experience, is that ease of use is what's most valuable, so you can access the stuff that you capture.
Yeah, I would definitely say that construction companies aren't probably the most technical.
Or that you don't have to. It's got to work. So
yeah, exactly. Like lawyers and construction are the two professions that I've been in where they're not very technical at all. So yeah, so if it's easy to use, that's definitely a plus. So yeah, check them out, StructionSite.com, the co-founder, Philip. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've learned a lot. I hope everybody watching has too. I hope you all stay safe. I'll see you again next week. Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.